A very good morning students. This is your English teacher Benu Sehrawat and I welcome you all to RKP online classes. Well, today you are going to enjoy the class a lot. Why? Of course, because I have brought such an interesting lesson today. And the lesson is all summer in a day. Alright, that is lesson number 9. Okay, this is lesson number 9 in the book English Vibes. Alright, lesson number 9, all summer in a day, which has been written by Bradbury. Okay, Bradbury. Now, before we proceed with the lesson, I want all of you to think about the title. Alright? Of course, after reading the story, we'll get to know why the writer has chosen this title. Right? But before we read the story, I want you to guess why. What is the story behind this title? All summer in a day? Is that even possible? What do you think? So I want all of you to pause the video for a moment and then just write it in your notebook. Whatever comes in your mind. All summer in a day. How's that possible? Please do that. And after we read this lesson, after we know what the story is all about, then of course it will look very funny that what all we have written and what all we thought about the title before reading the lesson. Alright? Now I have already told you that this lesson has been written by, do you remember it? Wonderful. It has been written by Bradbury. Alright? Now, let's know something about the writer. Alright? So, our students, Bradbury was an American writer, okay, who was born in 1920 and he died in 2012. Alright? And he wrote nearly 30 books and 600 stories, right? And he wrote mostly fictions. Okay, now what is a fiction? Alright, beta. Fiction is a piece of writing which is not real. Okay, which is not real. Okay, which is imaginary, right? So this lesson, all summer in a day, that is also a fiction. Okay, what do we call such stories? We call them fictions. Alright, and he wrote fictions related to horror, mystery and science. Okay, so these were the categories on which he wrote the fictions, right? And here I have written a few of his notable works, alright, which made him quite popular, right? So you can see here Fahrenheit 451 and the Martial Chronicles and the Illustrated Man. And the interesting thing about his writing is, one of the interesting things I must say rather, so he made use of a lot of poetic devices. Alright, do you remember poetic devices? Wonderful. Poetic devices, basically they make a simple writing, they decorate a simple piece of writing, right? They are like ornaments, right? So that's something which is very simple, but when we decorate it with different ornaments, it makes all these ornaments, they make the thing look more beautiful, right? So the same way, poetic devices make a simple piece of writing more beautiful and very interesting. Okay, so they make the reader go into some other zone. Alright, so poetic devices like simile, metaphors, personification. Alright, so all these poetic devices were used quite frequently by the writer of All Summer in a Day, that is Ray Bradbury. Alright. Now, before we actually start with the lesson, I would like to acquaint you all. I would like to make you familiar with the background of the lesson because it will help you understand the story in a much better way. So now what happens? It is, of course, it is a fiction, right? So the whole story, that is imaginary, that is unreal. Right? So what happens here is there is this scientist who discovered that life is possible on the planet Venus, right? So there is a set of a group of people, right, who go there on that planet and they start living there. Right? There are some children also in that group. So now this story, when it starts, the children, they are in their classroom with their teacher. Now, on planet Venus, in the lesson, it has been told that there, the sun, I mean, it is seen only once in 7 years. Right? So you can imagine the people living there, they could, see the sun, they could feel the sunshine and its warmth. They could absorb the sunshine just once in such a long period of time. Right? So, sun once in 7 years, is that even possible? It sounds crazy, right? But yes, that is what it is there in the story. So now what happens? All these kids, they are just 9 years old. Now if you see, I have already told you that the sun is seen only once in 7 years. So these kids, when they last time felt the warmth of the sun, that was when they were just 2 years old, right? And it's really hard for a 2-year-old kid to recall such a thing because they are too young, right? So now when they now this is at present, this is the day when they were able to see the sun rise once again after 7 years. So all these kids, they are really excited, right, to see the sunrise, right? Because they did not know anything about, like, how the sun looked. Okay, so we'll get to know about the whole story when we read the lesson now. So before we proceed with the lesson, I want all of you to tell me. You can, of course, you can write your answer in your notebook, which we'll discuss later on, right? So I want you to tell me, would you like to go on this planet if you got a chance? Would you like to go there? Thinking that, we know everything about the earth and it is so boring here. Either it's too cold or it's too hot. So if you got a chance, would you go there? I want to know your answer. Alright, so let's start with the lesson now. Alright, so I want all of you to open your books at page number 109. Alright, All Summer in a Day. Now, there is this conversation going on between the teacher and his students. Okay, they all are in their classroom, right? And they are waiting for the sunrise. All right. So the teacher is asking, are you ready? Right? And all the students, they are really excited and they are so eager, right? That they just can't wait to see the sun, right? So ready, now, soon, right? Do the scientists really know? Will it happen today? Will it? So you can see, I mean, you all children, you all are really curious by nature, right? So this is exactly, this is what exactly what's happening with these kids. They can't wait to see the sun. Now, look, see for yourself, right? The children pressed each other like so many roses, so many weeds intermixed, peering out for a look at the hidden sun. Now, the sun, it wasn't visible at the moment, right? And all the children, the sun, it is hidden. So it wasn't visible to the children right now, and they all, I just remember that scene when your exams are going on and your seating arrangement that is pasted on a board, right? So what happens there? This is what exactly happens at that time, right? You all are like this. You all want to know where where you are to sit in the examination, and you are standing here and all the other kids, they are just pressing you, okay? And this all looks like as if there is a bouquet, and all the roses, the way all the roses are pressed against each other, the same way all these kids, they were pressing each other, right, in excitement, and it looked like as if they are roses, right? And weed is a wild plant basically, which is it is not, it grows itself, right? And it is unwanted basically, so it grows anywhere, right? And peering out for a look at the hidden sun. Now peer out, that is a phrasal verb, right? Peer out. I am sorry, let me change the marker here. Peer out. Peer out means to look, okay? To have a glance, to look. So they all were trying to look at the sun, right? Now, it had been raining for 7 years, thousands upon thousands of days, compounded and filled from one end to the other with rain. The drum and gush of water, with the crystal fall of showers and concession of storms, right? So they are telling us what is the scenario at present at that planet, right? So it had been raining for last 7 years, right? Continuously, right? So here I want to draw your attention towards this structure, sentence structure, had been raining. Now we use this structure, had been plus verb fourth form, ing. We use it, suppose this is the point where the action started, and now you can see there's a period of time, duration of time, and still it is continued, right? So in such cases we use had been plus verb fourth form, right? When we are talking about a past event, right? For a particular period of time it continued, right? So, and we never use from in this structure with the time phrase, right? So we never use from 7 years. Instead we should always use for 7 years. We commit this mistake generally when we directly translate it from mother tongue Hindi to English, right? 7 saal se. Alright, so no, but it has to be for 7 years, right? And if at the place of 7 years, suppose it was morning. So we'll say since morning. Okay. Okay. So they are telling us that it had been 7 years, right? That it had been raining, and for thousands and thousands of days continuously it continued to rain. You can see here, filled from one end to the other with rain. I mean, the whole planet, it was filled with rainwater, right? With the drum and gush of water. Drum and gush of water. This phrase, drum and gush, it is used for sound of rain. Okay? Sound of rain. So all around there was a lot of sound of rain and crystal fall of showers, right? Crystal fall of showers means basically when it falls on the ground, you can see the crystal clear raindrops, right? And 1,000 forests had been crushed under the rain and grown up 1,000 times to be crushed again. Now there were forests, right? There were forests and they were all crushed. Crushed means destroyed. Okay? Crushed means destroyed or ruined or killed. So now, of course, trees, forests, they need water, they need rain, but excess of everything is bad. So because there is a continuous rain, so all thousands of forests, they were crushed, right? But after getting crushed, they grew again and then again they got crushed, right? Because of the environment there. Now, and this was the way life was forever on the planet Venus, and this was the schoolroom of the children of the rocket men and women who had come to a raining world to set up civilization and live out their lives. Now, so this was the life on this planet, okay? Rain, rain and rain all the time, right? So, and at present the children they are in their classroom, and they belong to this institution. Its name is the Rocket Men and Women. Yes, this is how we pronounce the plural form of woman. Okay, woman is the singular and women is the plural form of this word, right? So all these kids and they have come on this planet to set up the civilization. Alright, so now the children, they are talking, it's stopping. Now, of course, they are eager, the children, they are extremely excited, and they are, continuously, they have a watch on rain, right? So when the intensity, it got less, so they are like really excited. See, it's stopping, right? Yes, it's stopping. So they have this hope in their hearts that, now we'll be able to see the sunrise. Margot stood apart from them, from these children who could never remember a time when there wasn't rain and rain and rain. So now, here is this girl, Margot. Okay, Margot. So now all these children, they were standing, but there was a girl in the room who was standing apart. Apart means not with those children. Okay, away. Okay. Now, she was standing there away from those children who never remembered a time. I mean, they did not see anything else than rain. I mean, in their life, in the span of 9 years, right? So they were all 9 years old, and if there had been a day 7 years ago when the sun came out for an hour and showed its face to the stunned world, they could not recall. Of course, they were all 9 years old, right? 7 years ago, when the sun, it was seen. I mean, a 2-year child, he cannot recall, right? Such incident, right? So it was hard for them. Now, yes, you see the word here, the sun, it showed its face to the stunned world. Now, showed its face means when the sun actually came out and the sun appeared in front of the stunned world. Now, what is the meaning of stunned? Stunned is when you are in extreme shock. Okay, stunned. Stunned means shocked. All right. Yes. Sometimes at night, she heard them stir in remembrance, and she knew they were dreaming and remembering gold or a yellow crayon or a coin large enough to buy the world with. Now, when Margot many times, she had heard all these kids stir. Now, this word stir, it means, stir means to move slightly. Okay, to move slightly. Stir, to move slightly. So she had heard them stir and move lightly while sleeping. And why? What was the reason behind that? In remembrance. In remembrance means the act of remembering something. Okay, the act of remembering something. In remembrance, and she knew they were dreaming. And what were they remembering actually at that time? They were dreaming about the sun. Okay, you see the words here, a gold or a yellow crayon. Now, crayon, of course, crayon is that stick also of crayon, stick with which, with the help of which we color a picture, right? Those are called crayon sticks. But we use it as a crayon alone, right here, like yellow crayon. That means a drawing made with crayon sticks. Okay, so crayon is a drawing made with crayon sticks. All right, so they always used to dream about the sun, right? And they also called it yellow crayon, yellow or gold crayon, or a coin, a large coin with which you can buy the whole world, right? Now, she knew, they thought, they remembered a warmness like a blushing in the face, in the body, in the arms and legs and trembling hands. Now, she, who is she here? Margot, the girl, right? She knew, I mean, she was aware of this thing that they remembered. Of course, they remembered something, that it is warm, right? And when it is seen, when it is out there in the sky, you can feel the warmth, right? And in their, on their face, in their body, in their arms, right? Yes. So, but then they always awoke to the tatting drum, the endless shaking down of clear bead necklaces upon the roof, the walks, the gardens, the forest, and their dreams were gone. Now, we can see here, they were always awoke. Now, beta, they always used to dream about sun, but every time, whenever they got up in the morning, it was always, right, like there were drumming sound, okay, there was drumming sound on the roof, right? And you can see here the endless shaking down of clear bead necklaces upon the roof. Beads, crystal beads, they the writer is comparing the raindrops with the beads of a necklace, okay? And it always felt like as if somebody is the beads they are falling down on the roof, and then it creates a sound, right? The walks means the roads, the paths, the way, right? The gardens, right? The forest. And their dreams were gone. When they used to wake up in the morning, everything was same. It was raining all over, right? And the moment they used to see this, all their dreams were shattered, okay? Now, all day yesterday, they had read in class about the sun. Now, the previous day, they read about the sun. They got to know more about the sun through their class teacher, and about how like a lemon it was, and how hot it was, right? And they had written small stories or essays or poems about it, right? So the day before they read about the sun, and they really enjoyed the class because they got to know a lot more about sun and how hot it was, its properties, right? Its color, it's about its light, right? And they all wrote beautiful poems and essays about sun, right? I think the sun is a flower that blooms for just 1 hour. Now, this was a poem which was written by Margot. Okay, see how beautiful it is. I think the sun is a flower, and we all know that flowers, they always bloom. Okay, at initial stage it is a bud. Okay, when all the petals they are closed, and when they open up, it becomes a flower. That's when we call it like a bloomed flower. They bloom, they open up. Okay, so bloom means bloom, opens up. Alright, so this is what Margot had written in her poem, that according to her, sun was a flower which bloomed just once, right? Just for 1 hour, right? That was Margot's poem, read in a quiet voice in the still classroom while the rain was falling outside. So she also read that poem to her classmates when outside it was still raining. So we'll continue with the story in our next video. Thank you so much.